This is an optionally manned boat, and it's super cool. Except, it was supposed to be an optionally manned hydrofoil by now. But it turns out the project was a bit more complicated than I anticipated when getting started. Which is every engineering project ever. So simple in your mind, but then reality, right? In this video, I'll show you where the project is currently at, how it got here, and where it needs to go as the problems are encountered one by one. In the last video, I made the boat hull and was able to vacuum bag the foils as well. That's pretty much it for the first video recap.
Alright guys, and the three ladies that watch this channel, the moment of truth, my favorite part of bagging, seeing if it turned out. Oh, that's fantastic.
The foils needed a point of rotation so that servos could control their movement. You can see here that a carbon tube and sleeve were used for that.
Alright, so I'm going to line this section up with the rear here on the strut. And once I got it situated, I add a tiny little fillet down there. And that'll hold it in place while I add a much bigger fillet that will also add a lot of strength, as well as the box that we're going to fill up with epoxy later.
The fillets were made using epoxy and microfiller to make them sandable. Those were fiberglassed over and the foils could then be painted. The finishing touches were done on the passenger compartment of the boat, and a space was created for the batteries that would power everything.
Nailed it!
So after we cut out the window, I need to sand down the fiberglass so I don't cut myself when we're putting the batteries in and out. I need to cut out a section here so I can wire in the electronics to control everything. This is the way.
An autopilot was installed on an internal shelf in the back of the boat. There was a lot of wiring to do and I won't bore you with a diagram or anything, but feel free to enjoy this exciting, fast-paced, action-filled montage.
Is it gonna go pop? Scared?
Oh.
Oh! Oh! Right in front of it.
Oh my God.
Woo!
This project is powered by 2 car batteries, and they needed an external battery management system installed on each one. It was a little tedious wiring each terminal on these 12-cell packs, but we got it done eventually. Unfortunately, I damaged one of the BMSs because I failed to read the instructions before assembling. Oops.
Looks like there's 2 resistors for each cell. So it looks like it took out at least 1, maybe 2, maybe even 4. So I'm guessing whatever these ones are connected to, which would be the negative end, so like series 1 and 2, I'm guessing they wouldn't balance correctly. So like the rest of the pack would be balancing, but these wouldn't. which would kind of defeat the whole point of having a balancer on there.
A new BMS was installed, and having been forced to read the manual, it was done correctly this time. It was then time to do a full power test with the intended battery.
You ain't gonna get me, buddy boy.
Now that everything was working, it was time for the finishing touches needed before hitting the water. Oh, and I also had to figure out how to charge these monster batteries. I bought a huge power supply, and this time opted to read the instructions before using it.
So Curtis said this was okay, and if Curtis is wrong, we're gonna lose the house. I'm not saying our friendship is on the line here. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it's not on the line.
A real man is never afraid to admit his true feelings. I love my Exter wallet.
Exter has a ton of wallets, and I asked it to review the aluminum wallet. It looked the best to me. It's a tracker card. Oh, it's a tracker card. Oh, we're gonna find those criminals, man. Pushes your cards out. Oh, and it staggers them perfectly. Oh.
This has been my only wallet now since the day I got it, and it looks to stay that way. I actually liked them so much I gave one to Chris, who provided helium for a previous video project as a way to say thank you.
What? It's another wallet. Alright. They're gonna get double the reviews for their money.
It would be an understatement to say I don't think you would be disappointed in trying out an Exter wallet. I partnered with Exter to give you an exclusive discount. Enjoy up to 25% off using my code or link. Here you can see an amazing display of craftsmanship as I duct tape on the autopilot hatch. It did the job though as a placeholder for a more formally finished compartment. After plugging in the battery, there was nothing left to do but give it some throttle.
I didn't plan on getting in it today, but I guess since we're here, it would be a waste.
That was a lot of fun, and now I wanted to try the boat by itself with the hydrofoils installed.
I did not think that was gonna, I don't know if it was planing, but I'm actually pretty borderline as to whether this might get up on foil or not with me in it. I might not have to put on a water foul. Whoa.
Unfortunately, during all my gallivanting around, water had gotten in the rudder servo compartment and caused it to switch to motor mode instead of servo mode.
That's it for today.
Shit.
There's tons of water in the servo. Whoopsie daisy. Good thing that happened before it got up on foil.
Yeah.
That would have been a disaster.
As it was spinning around, it snapped the rudder linkage and dug out some foam. These servos are rated for 350 kilograms of torque.
That's crazy.
I had an idea to keep the servo dry and drew up something in CAD. Then I printed the pieces on my Bamboo Lab printer and it seemed to work great.
It's stabilizing the wrong direction.
I'm pretty sure this was a center of gravity issue. I just had the weight too far back, all of it centered on that rear foil. Which is slightly ironic as I harp on getting the CG right quite often here on this channel. Do as I say, not as I do apparently. With a lot of down elevator, it was somewhat controllable, but still not great. And then the final problem reared its head. As designed, the foils just weren't strong enough.
Huh.
Oh wow. That didn't stay in. That broke out.
Oh, I think it like totally shoved up in there. Oh my goodness, yeah, shoved out here. Oh.
The hydrofoil is not working as planned yet. First change is actually find the true center of gravity before putting it on the water. Secondly, instead of having full moving foils, we're going to fix the foils and just have the trailing edge moving here like a normal airplane surface. And we will join the two foils on the bottom. That will add a lot of strength for the foils and make them far less likely to buckle. I'm going to fully mold these foils so that we can make them much stronger in the mold. These air propellers, they may not have enough power to lift me up on foil as it is, and they definitely ruin the ambiance. It sounds like you have a hurricane behind you. It's not a peaceful experience. So we will be going to a water motor down here, and we'll be chopping this whole structure off. So that should address the problems, but that's going to be quite a long process, mostly because I'm going to be molding the foils at this point. That is not a quick process. So while I was not able to get a working hydrofoil that could carry me for this video, I walked away with a really cool boat.
Alright guys, well the lesson here clearly is protect your credit cards from criminals. Get an extra wallet. I don't know what other conclusion you could have.